up everybody, I'm HoopsandHipHop and welcome back to another Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon video. Now, the predecessors to Ultra Sun and Moon, which were Sun and Moon, were great games, but now that it's been a little while since their release and the hype has settled down on them, we can all pretty much agree that there were a few things about the games that could definitely be improved upon. In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys 5 ways that Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, which are seemingly the sequels or at the very least an improved version of Sun and Moon, can improve upon their predecessors in various ways to make a game that we can absolutely enjoy and that will be absolutely awesome. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about on this list are the trials. I talked about it in my video detailing the 5 worst things about Pokemon Sun and Moon, but the trials were definitely something that were a good idea, however I don't think they were executed as well as they could have been. In my personal opinion, I thought the trials were at times just too simple and too short to really make it a good replacement for the gyms, particularly with, for example, Lana's trial or even the Mina's trial, which wasn't even really a trial because she just gave you her Z Crystal. Like, I just think they were far too simple and far too easy to really be a good replacement for gyms. And I think in Ultra Sun and Moon, they should really revamp the trial system to bring in new trials, and even if they include some of the same trials, make them better, make them longer. Allow me to spend a good amount of time on them so when I finally get to that totem Pokemon, it really feels like a really good payoff for the trial. That's something I really want to see because in my opinion, that was one of the biggest flaws about Sun and Moon were the overly simple and short trials, so hopefully we see something better in Ultra Sun and Moon. Now, the next thing I want to see in Ultra Sun and Moon are more areas added to the game. Now, this wasn't a huge deal for me, but one thing I did notice while playing through the games is that there weren't really that many towns in the game. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, that Sun and Moon, the Alola region, actually have the least amount of towns of any of the regions. So this is something I really think needs to be rectified and fixed in Ultra Sun and Moon. I'm not necessarily saying add a bunch of new towns, however adding a few would be awesome. I'm just saying we need more areas to explore in the game to really enjoy the Alola region. I really want them to go all out and really flesh out the 4 islands that we already have and give them more areas and places to explore to really make the games that much more enjoyable. I think this one is actually promising and it's one that we might actually see happen. Considering the new Pikachu area that we saw in the trailer, I really hope that it's a sign of things to come and that we get several new areas like that where it's just completely new and offers a completely new experience and something that we just didn't see in Sun and Moon. So I'm just really hopeful that that is the case, and that is something I would definitely like to see. Now, the third thing on this list was another glaring flaw about Sun and Moon, and that's adding a national Pokédex to the game. Now, Sun and Moon did have a lot of Pokemon in their Pokédex, and they even had a bunch that weren't in their Pokédex via the island scan. However, it was just kind of stupid to not have a national Pokédex. If the entire concept of Pokemon is to catch them all, then why don't we have a national Pokédex that will literally allow us to find and catch them all? It just kind of defeats the purpose of Pokemon, in my opinion. The island scan was great. It allowed us to catch a lot of interesting Pokemon, including some starters fairly early on in the game, so that was awesome. However, we just need to go back to the national Pokédex where we can find them in the Pokédex, where we can get information on them and just have it the way it's supposed to be, frankly. Because one thing that was great about Sun and Moon were the Pokédex entries. It had some awesome Pokédex entries, but we didn't really get them for every Pokemon because we didn't have the national dex. So this is something that they really need to add into the game. It just makes all the sense in the world, and hopefully they do it. Number 4 on this list is actually something that's somewhat related to adding the national Pokédex, and that's make a better post-game in this game. Now, a really good post-game is something that we have wanted as Pokemon fans for a really long time, and it's been lacking in the most recent games. In Sun and Moon, we were all hopeful that we would get a good post-game, but it just didn't happen. I really like that they included story elements to the post-game. I really enjoyed that, but it ultimately just boiled down to a game of fetch with the Ultra Beasts, just bringing them back to the International Police every time you caught them, and you had like 5 or 6 rounds of that, and that was it. That was basically all of the post-game, unless you count the battle tree. What they really need to do is just flesh out the post game to really give us something to do after we beat the game so we can stick around with it and play it for a little bit longer. I'm not even going to mention, I guess I'm mentioning it right now, but we all really want to see another instance of being able to travel to a second region at some point. However, that has been talked about to death, and frankly, we don't even need that to have a really good post game. What we do need, however, to have a really good post game, I believe, are new areas that become accessible after the post game, or after you beat the game. Case in point is Fire Red and Leaf Green. Fire Red and Leaf Green did not add a new region, but they added the Sevi Islands, which was essentially 7 different areas that you could explore in the post game that actually had story-related side quests that you could do along with the exploring. Just adding really awesome areas like that to explore that really give you a sense of excitement in the post game after you beat it is just something that's essential. Like, seriously, Pokemon has been lacking a good post game for a while, and that's really all you need to do. Give us a few extra areas to explore after we beat the game, add in some story elements to those areas that we can explore and follow and figure out, and that's really all you need. It's pretty simple. We don't need the whole second region, even though that would be awesome, so hopefully they add something like that in Ultra Sun and Moon. And finally, the 5th thing on this list is probably the easiest thing to fix, but it really needs fixing, and that is the Elite Four. Now, personally, I was really disappointed in the fact that they recycled so many characters for the Elite Four. Between the 5 characters, the Elite Four and Kukui the Champion, we had a total of, I believe, 3 characters that we had 4 characters, if you count Kukui, that we had already seen in the game, and 3 of them we had in essence battled and already beaten, because we already battled and beat Hala, we already battled and beat Olivia, and we sort of beat Acerola with her trial. So the fact that we had basically already seen the entire Elite Four before we even got to the Elite Four itself, and we had already essentially beat 3 of the Elite Four members, even though it wasn't in the Elite Four, just really, really disappointed me, because I always look forward to meeting the new characters, emphasis on new, of the Elite Four, because these guys are supposed to be the best of the best. They're supposed to be what we strive towards, and the fact that we already knew who they were was just, it was disappointing, and I think it was a little bit lazy on Game Freak's part to recycle those characters. I absolutely loved that they made Kukui the champion, because that was a really nice wrinkle that they added, making the professor the champion, and I really liked the title defense. So stuff like that definitely keep going in Ultra Sun and Moon. I just want to see some new characters for the Elite Four. That's all you need to do. Take out Acerola, take out Hala, take out Olivia. I mean, just add new characters as the Elite Four members, and we're good. That's really all I need to fix this problem. And there you go, those were 5 ways that I think Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon can improve upon Sun and Moon. Now, like I said in the intro, Sun and Moon were great games. However, they also have a lot of room for improvement, which is exciting because if Game Freak does these things to improve Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon will just be absolutely phenomenal games, and I am really looking forward and hoping that they will implement some of these things in the actual games when it comes out. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like and let me know down in the comments below what improvements you want to see made to Ultra Sun and Moon, and if you agree or would like to see any of the improvements that I mentioned. If you're new, make sure you subscribe because I upload great Pokemon content every Tuesday and Saturday. We are almost to 50K, the big halfway mark, and I am so excited. I really want to do something special when we hit that, so hopefully we can hit it soon. And until the next one, I will be back with another video soon. Until then, as always, I'll smell you guys later.